Good morning. It is just about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm officially ready to start my 24-hour readathon. The lighting in here is particularly bad right now because the sun's not out, obviously, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. But I have wanted to do one of these challenges or one of these readathons for so long, but I work full time, so it's kind of hard to find the time to do that. The last time I actually attempted to do this recently, earlier this year, and it didn't work because I am such a distracted reader naturally, but my boyfriend was also home when I was trying to do it, and I was just getting distracted by him because I was like, I just want to hang out with you. I don't want to sit and read all day. So now he's out of town this weekend. I have some extra time off. I've got an extended weekend, and we're finally gonna do the 24-hour readathon. So Books and Lala, Kayla, she just recently did a 24-hour readathon, and I'm kind of stealing her method. In her video, she basically said she did hers from 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. because 4 o'clock in the morning didn't sound like the most ridiculous time to wake up, and it doesn't sound like the most ridiculous time to go to bed. And I kind of agree with her logic on that, so I decided to copy that part from her, and I'm gonna do mine from 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. So here we are. I'm up very early. I don't know the last time that I was up this early. I used to work every day 6 o'clock in the morning. I did that for 3 years straight, but then I changed jobs and now I don't work till 8:30 in the morning, so I've gotten used to sleeping in a little bit, so being up really early is like weird for me right now. Anyway, I'm gonna start the first book. I'm gonna start with Powerful by Lauren Roberts. It's pretty short, so I'm hoping that will be a good thing for this challenge, but I'm gonna read this, and then once, hopefully by the time I'm done, the sun will be coming up, and then I'm gonna come back and talk with you guys about like my general plans and things that I want to read over the next 24 hours. But first things first, let's get this read, and I will come back when I finish it. A little bit later. It's like 6:15 right now, and I just finished Powerful by Lauren Roberts. I'm gonna save like my ratings until the very end, just so that I can move on to the next book very quickly and have time to think about my ratings. But I did enjoy this. This is like a little novella between the first and the second book in the series. So I've read the first book, obviously, so I was already used to the world and the characters, which I think helped make this a really quick read. Also because it's YA and it's short, it was just a quicker read in general. I liked it. We're following one of the side characters, Peyton's best friend, Adina, who is the seamstress, and we are kind of following this little like romance that she has and just like her life after Peyton goes to the trials. I liked it for the most part. There were a couple of things that I wasn't a super big fan of, but in general, I thought it was a good story. But I just want to talk about like some books that I have pulled out to possibly read in this readathon. So obviously I have my like physical TBR behind me that I can always pick books off. I have my Kindle that I can pick books off of, but I also have some library books and some other physical TBR books that I want to prioritize. So from the library, I have The Emperor and the Endless Palace, which is a fantasy, I believe, and I don't know if like the characters are queer or if the author is queer, but I know this like popped up as like a Pride Month recommendation on Goodreads, which I was not aware of until I saw that article, which is cool. It's officially Pride Month, so why not? But I don't remember what this book is about, but I saw somebody talk about it and it sounded interesting to me. Then I have One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. So I was thinking Ruth Ware is like an auto-buy author for me, but not like a auto buy at the thrift store. I have pretty much every single one of her books except for, I guess, her last two releases, The It Girl and 0 Days. But this one obviously just came in at the library, and my thinking was like a thriller would be really good for the readathon because it'll hopefully be fast paced, hopefully be a little bit suspenseful, and really hold my attention. So I was thinking about saving this until later when I'm kind of tired and I need something to wake me up. But then I was thinking, and on my physical TBR, I have this one, Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. And every person that I've seen read this, like on BookTube and reading vlogs or whatever, they say this is like one of those types of books where when you're not reading it, you're thinking about it and you just want to keep reading it. So I'm thinking I might save this as my thriller that I read once I start to get tired. Wow, the font is really big in here, so that's great. But I'm hoping I'll really like it and it'll definitely like hold my attention and keep me awake once I start to get tired. So I have a couple of thrillers on my radar. Also checked out from the library, I have I Am Legend, which is going to be for a reading vlog in June. But this is another short one, so I'm kind of thinking like maybe staggering and doing like a short book and then a longer one and then a short one and then a longer one. I think short books are like, in my brain, it seems like a really good plan of action to read short books in this readathon because then that sense of accomplishment will come a lot sooner. I don't know. But then off of my physical TBR, some things that I've been meaning to get to for a really long time. I have Robert Heinlein, Have a Spacesuit Will Travel, which is a sci-fi. Then I have another sci-fi. I have Annie Bot by Sierra Greer. And then I also have A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, which I've been meaning to get to. It is short. It is a book where I'm already established with the world and the characters in this series. So I think this will be a good one to read. I'm definitely going to try my best to get to this one in the readathon. I would say I'm like 97% sure I'm going to read it. Anyways, the sun is just starting sort of to come up, and I was thinking that I want to go on a walk once the sun is up, get a nice little early morning walk in. So I'm gonna start my next book. I'm gonna read this one next, One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I actually don't even remember what the synopsis is, but I'm gonna start this, get a little bit of the ways into it, and then once the sun is like fully up, I think I'm gonna go for a walk and listen to an audiobook. I have You Know What You Did checked out on Libby, and I think I'm like 37% through that one. So that was kind of my plan, is to have an audiobook so that I can go for a walk, I can do some chores around the house, but still be reading for the 24 hours. Because I know if I just like sit still and read physically for the full 24 hours, I will definitely feel sleepy and want to fall asleep. So being able to move around and do things and keep my energy levels up while also completing the task of reading, I think will be a good idea with an audiobook. So with that being said, I'm going to get back to reading. I'm going to start this one and I will come back later, probably when I'm getting ready to go for a walk, maybe after I get home from my walk, but either way, I'll see you guys soon. It's been another hour since I last talked to you guys. I feel like I've been awake for a couple hours now, but I feel like I look so tired still. Like I don't look like I'm awake. I don't feel like I'm awake. I'm putting my socks and my shoes on because I'm about to go for my walk. But I am like 63 pages through One Perfect Couple now, and it's interesting so far. I'm very curious to see where it goes. Basically, the premise is we are reading from the perspective of Lila, and Lila and her boyfriend Nico, he is an actor, more of an aspiring actor than like a real actor, and they get the opportunity to go on this like brand new reality show for couples, and the idea is that every week like they have to do a different challenge as couples, but the pairings get mixed up, so they're not always going to be with their actual partner, but as a couple they have to do whatever the challenge is, and then one person gets eliminated each week. So there's a possibility that, like, you know, you go in with your partner and then they get eliminated and you have to pair up with like other people throughout the duration for the rest of the show. So this whole thing is taking place on this island in Indonesia. It's supposed to be a really remote island, and apparently there's like this nice resort that they're going to be staying at. So they have just kind of gotten on the boat to go to this island, and it's gonna take them a journey. I think they said that they have to spend the night on the boat before they actually make it to their destination, so it's definitely gonna be a pretty remote island. And then I guess the whole premise of the story after that is that there is like this big storm, so they get stuck there and don't have communication, because obviously reality TV, they take everybody's cell phone and devices connected to the internet. So it's been interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. I really like the reality show aspect of it, but I'm gonna go for my walk. The sleepiness, I'm definitely feeling the sleepiness. Like I said, just sitting down and reading, I'm like tired. So I think going for a walk is a good idea. The sun has come out. I'm going to put on my audiobook. Like I told you guys, I'm 35% of the way through it, so I'm going to listen to some more of that. So with that being said, I will see you guys when I get back. So it's been a couple of hours. It's like 10:30-ish now. I just made some food, a whole big bowl of food. I am now 60% of the way through my audiobook. I listened to it on my walk, obviously, and then I came home and I did some dishes and I did some laundry while I listened to it. And then just now, when I was making food, I was listening to it as well. And then I also did some more reading in One Perfect Couple. I read about 100 more pages, so I'm now on page 161. This is definitely very fast moving. Like, the plot is picking up very, very quickly. Like, we're in the storm now and we're not even halfway through. So I'm very curious to see where it's gonna go, and like if there's gonna be any crazy over the top twists, because right now, like, I don't have like any suspicions about anything, because it seems like pretty straightforward. Like, they're on this island and there's a storm. So I don't know where it's gonna go from here. There was one little thing that happened that I wasn't expecting, but it's not like anything super crazy or imperative to like the like thriller plot line, if that makes sense. Like, it didn't really have anything to do with like the storm and the situation that they're in, but it still surprised me because I wasn't expecting it. But maybe it will come back in the end and be connected a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. I'm enjoying this. The audiobook, You Know What You Did, it's going okay for me. It's not my favorite, but I'm interested in the story enough to keep listening. I'm going to eat my food. I'm going to do some more reading, and I will see you guys later. We're upstairs now. We're in my bedroom. You know, change of scenery. Book number 2 is now done. I really enjoyed this one. It was suspenseful. It was very fast paced. Like, I was really interested in everything that was happening. Like, there was a lot of survival elements to it, which was fun. There wasn't really a crazy twist. Like, there was kind of a twist, but I kind of saw it coming, or like knew something along those lines was gonna happen. But overall, I liked it. Once again, my final ratings and everything will be at the very end, but I think next I'm gonna read A Court of Frost and Starlight, because it is another short one, so I think that'll be good. And then once again, it is like a series that I've read, so like I'm established with the world and the characters. I know what's going on, and it's also like a world in which I'm very immersed anytime I read the books in these series, so that's good because it'll hold my attention. I'm definitely feeling sleepy. I've been feeling sleepy since I got up because I meant to go to bed like earlier last night so that I wouldn't be so tired waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't. I went to bed at like 11. I think it was like 11:30 maybe, so that's mainly why I'm so tired. I didn't even say we are like 9.5 hours, I think. It's like 1:30 right now. So, yeah, be honest with me. Will you be mad if I take a nap? Answer quick, even though I won't see your answer. But the urge is really strong. I'm trying to make at least like the first 12 hours and then maybe I'll take like a little power nap. I just don't know, like once it starts getting dark, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm really having fun. Like it's kind of cozy. I like having the apartment to myself to do this. It's just like there's something so cozy feeling about it and it makes me feel very happy and I'm enjoying myself, but I just don't know how much longer I can go. I also stopped drinking coffee like 6 weeks ago, so I haven't had any coffee. If that wasn't the case, like I definitely would have stocked up for this and I would just be drinking coffee and that would help. But I've been trying to do like as little caffeine as possible, so I did have like a tea earlier, but I don't know. Maybe I'll like walk to 7-Eleven and get a soda if I'm feeling real frisky later. Also, another plan I have for staying awake is playing The Sims and listening to an audiobook while I do that, because when I play The Sims, like I get so into it and then I just don't feel tired and I stay up way too late, which is what happened to me last night. But my only concern with that is when I play The Sims, I get focused on playing, so I don't know if I could listen to an audiobook and focus on that while playing. But that'll be like my last resort if I'm really dying in the last few hours of this challenge. But for now, I'm gonna read this. I have been avoiding coming up here and reading in bed. I love to read in my bed, but I know I may fall asleep if I do that. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna sit up here and I'm going to attempt to read in bed, but if I start majorly dying, then I'll just make myself sit up on the couch again downstairs. But we have 2 books officially done. Still have my audiobook going for when I want to do other things as I read. I'm going to start book number 3 and I will see you guys later. We have officially made it to the 12-hour mark. It is about 4 p.m. right now. I have 40 pages left in A Court of Frost and Starlight. I did end up taking like a 25-minute nap earlier, but I am awake now and I'm almost done with the book. This one, I guess, gets called like the Christmas special in this series. And honestly, I understand why. Like, it is short and it's just like a bunch of fluff and like happy times with the characters. And I'm not disliking it, but it's not like my absolute favorite. But it's definitely like setting up for the last book, which I'm still like very, very nervous to read that one because it's from Nesta's point of view, and I have not been a fan of Nesta since the beginning, and I know that a lot of people share that same feeling, but then they say when you get her point of view, like, you understand why she is the way that she is and you come to love her. But like, the idea of reading like 700 plus pages from her point of view and not getting to read about Feyre and Rhys, like, I just don't know if I'm ready for that. But I'm enjoying this for the most part, and I'm going to finish it now and then come back and talk to you guys later because I'm not sure what I want to read next. Hi, it is now about 6:30. I had to check the time. I went on my little 7-Eleven run. I had 3 things in mind that I wanted to get. The first thing was Sprite. There is no caffeine in Sprite, but there is sugar, so I'm hoping that will help me stay awake. But they had like a sale, so I got 2 of them. But they had this one that's called Sprite Chill, which is cherry lime, and I've never heard of it. So we're gonna do a taste test. I hope it's good. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I do like it because I don't ever drink soda, but when I do, like, my go-to is either like cherry Coke or cherry Pepsi or cherry vanilla Coke or cherry vanilla Pepsi. So I like this because I'm trying to be better when I do drink sodas and get like the lighter ones because those are supposed to be better than the like darker ones. So maybe this can be my replacement for cherry Coke because it has that same like cherry taste to it, but I'm gonna assume it's healthier. Not saying it's healthy, but maybe it's healthier. Then of course I had to get snacks, so I got some of these little pickle bite thingies and a 7-Eleven brownie. And that's my haul. I also, before I went to 7-Eleven, I went and walked on the treadmill and I started Full Brutal by Christopher Triana. I am reading like a full array of books. None of them are similar at all. So this is extreme horror, and we are basically following this girl, Kim. She's 16 years old, she's in high school, and she is discovering some very interesting things that she is into sexually, and then she makes it her mission to lose her virginity with her teacher. So it's extreme horror, like I said. I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know, I just think it's funny. I really like Christopher Triana's writing. I don't read extreme horror a lot, or like I'm not always the biggest fan of it, but everything that I've read from Christopher Triana I have enjoyed. I just like his writing, the way that he tells his stories. I think he does such a fantastic job, and I think he is a really good example of like good extreme horror. But Full Brutal's going well so far. I am like 80 something percent into my audiobook, which I haven't really talked to you guys a lot about. It's just okay. It's like a pretty standard thriller to me, but it is a debut. I do like the writing. We basically have this woman, Annie Shaw. She is like a middle-aged woman, and she's just kind of like been involved with a lot of accidents and death in her life. We meet her when her mother has just passed away, and then it kind of jumps around in the timeline, and at first I was really confused because we get like the present timeline like right after her mother dies, and then we get like her timeline growing up and being like in Hong Kong, and then we get like a future timeline that the present merges with, in which she wakes up in this hotel room next to a lifeless body and she has no freaking clue what happened. So it's interesting. Things are definitely coming together. I'm at that point in the book where things are starting to like make sense, or the mystery is starting to come together. I think Annie's a really interesting character. She has OCD and kind of like borders on paranoia a little bit, but mostly like her mom had the more like paranoia side of the OCD, but she is more like, what do they call it, like disgust OCD, I guess, where she just like is very aware of things touching other things and touching her, like when she goes out in public and she wears like a cardigan on the subway and she has to make sure she doesn't touch like the dirty side of the cardigan. I can't remember how they explained it. I'm pretty sure that's what they called it, was like a disgust OCD. But it's been really interesting, and she's a very interesting character because of that, and then she's also an unreliable narrator in a lot of different ways. So I am curious to see how things wrap up and what ends up being like the conclusion to everything that has happened. So both of the books are going well. I'm gonna take a shower though because I'm sweaty, and forgive me, but I may take a break because I can't read in the shower, and putting an audiobook on full blast while I try to hear it over the sound of a shower doesn't sound fun to me. So I just wanted to give you my haul, give you my updates, and I will see you after I shower. I'm probably going to sit down and read more of Full Brutal because I'm really, really into it, and I stopped in the middle of a chapter, but I really want to know I don't know, it's just so fun. She's like messing with this guy and I probably shouldn't be rooting for her, but I am because it's like, it's funny, it's entertaining. I'm post shower now. Obviously, I am ready to just lay in bed and keep reading Full Brutal. I am like itching to get back into it. I've got my pickles. I've got my Sprite. I got my ice water. Like, I'm ready. I'm vibing. And I may regret saying this, but I feel really good energy-wise. I think there was a little bit of a hump to get over with like waking. Oh my god. My camera just fell down, so hopefully this angle's not messed up now. Anyways, I was saying I feel like there's a little bit of a hump to get over with like waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning because obviously I'm not used to that. But then I got over that hump. Staying active and like doing things throughout the day has definitely helped, I feel like. And now I feel like I'm feeling pretty good. And I know probably 11, 12 o'clock tonight there will be another hump that I have to get over in order to power through until 4 a.m. But for right now, I'm feeling great and I am going to enjoy my time while I feel this good. Listen, I know I just did this update that I was about to sit down in bed and read, but I didn't realize, I know it says it right there, these are not pickle bites. This is a whole ass pickle. So imagine my surprise, okay? I'm gonna put you down for a second. Imagine my surprise when I pull this out. What kind of a pickle is that? I'm shocked, I'm appalled, and I'm very upset because I just wanted like little pickle bites. It's nearing 9 o'clock now, still doing very good energy wise. I'm having so much fun. Like, okay, people who have been in like a long-term relationship or have lived with their significant other for a while can probably relate, but like, it's great being together all the time, but then when you have the space to yourself, it's like, this is so great. Like, this doesn't happen very often, and I'm having such a fun time just being by myself. Especially because it allows me to do things like this, like a 24-hour readathon, which normally I wouldn't be doing if my boyfriend was here because I would just feel bad, like, ignoring him for 24 hours. Anyway, it's nearing 9 o'clock. Did I say that already? I am about halfway through Full Brutal. It's taking me a little bit longer to read this book than I would have first thought, but you guys, this book is so messed up. I read the synopsis a long time ago. Basically, like, I like Christopher Triana, like I said, but after reading Gone to See the Riverman in January and really, really liking it, I bought this on Kindle, but then just never read it until now, obviously. So all I knew about it was this girl that wanted to, you know, lose her virginity to her teacher, and she did that. But the teacher has a daughter that goes to the school, so she starts to fuck with his daughter as well, and it's so messed up, and it's making me feel so many things because I just feel so bad for this poor girl. She doesn't deserve anything that's happening to her, and it just gets worse and worse as the story goes, and we're only halfway through. Like, I'm scared for what else is gonna happen. But it's also like I said, I love his writing and it's entertaining, but it kind of reminds me of like that thing that people say about car crashes or whatever, where it's like, you know, it's fucked up, but you just like, you can't look away. And that's literally me reading this book. I'm like, it's physically paining me because I feel so bad for this girl, but I'm also like, I can't wait to keep reading it and see what else happens. That's my update for now. I have dinner at 9 p.m., dinner in bed, and I'm gonna keep reading this. But this is like, I feel like exactly what I needed. Like, just a little fucked up horror book that is fast paced, that is easy to read, because it's keeping me awake and it's keeping me so engaged. So I kind of like don't want it to end, but I also do want it to end so that I can read another book. But I'm having a great time right now. I'm recording because I feel like something's gonna happen. I'm gonna try to catch my reaction because I've been having very like audible out loud reactions to this book. But I'm still nervous because it says I'm only 67% through. I'm like, what else can this girl possibly do? it. Don't want to lock the door or anything. Wait. What? That wasn't even that bad, but I can't. And the sleepiness is getting to me. I can feel myself getting a little bit crazy. And this book is just adding to the chaos. But I'm here for it. Watch this just turn into me reading extreme horror because I'm sleep deprived. I just finished Full Brutal. All I have to say is, what the fuck? This book is definitely appropriately named. And that's all I'm gonna say about it for right now. It is just past 11 o'clock and the tiredness is catching up to me. I don't know what I want to read next. I feel like anything's gonna be hard to follow everything that just happened in this book. Especially in terms of like keeping my attention at this point in the night. I think I'm gonna finish my audiobook. I think there's like an hour left in that, so I think I'm gonna finish that and do some other stuff and hopefully not fall asleep. We'll see what happens, but I need some time to process this. I don't think I could pick up another book, like another book to physically read right now, because this was a lot. And I don't know how I'm gonna follow it up with another, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's that time where I'm just falling apart from sleep deprivation. Hi, it is like 12:30 right now, and I just finished the audiobook. I don't really have a lot of thoughts about it at the moment. I will probably have to just wait and think about that for now. But I am very tired, and I'm going to try my best to stay up and read, but I don't think it's going to be successful if I'm being totally honest. I think if I sit down, regardless of where I sit, if I sit and I try to physically read something, I think I'm going to fall asleep. But I'll try, and if you guys don't see me again tonight, then I will see you tomorrow at some point. It's literally been like 10 minutes since I last talked to you guys, but I'm struggling with what the heck to even read next. I think I goofed up reading Full Brutal when I did. I should have saved that for last, because now I'm like, I want something that's gonna have that same feel to it, where it's like very fast paced and very messed up and like holding my full attention. Because I have like this stack of books, obviously, that I went through with you guys. 2 of them are sci-fi and 1 of them is fantasy, which is just like, my brain, I can't do that right now with the state that my brain is in. Then there's a thriller, but I know it's gonna take me like a little bit to get into it. So I don't know. I have my Kindle as well, so I think I might look on Kindle and see if there's like another little messed up horror book that I can read. This is literally like opening any book to read, and I'm like, I don't think I can do that right now. So what am I supposed to do? It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Why does it keep, every time I go to Amazon, it just like pops up with this random book? I've never heard of that. I don't know why it keeps like, it's like, hey, you want to read this book? No, I don't. Maybe I could read that one. What is it? The one about the door? Unhinged? See, I could read Unhinged. Should I? It's 71. Maybe that's what I need right now. Let's do that. This is what you get when it's 1 o'clock in the morning, apparently. But now it's recommending me all these like similar ones. stuffed and double stuffed. There's one called Frisky the Snowman, and it's like a carrot butt plug. I'm not quite vibing with that. I'm a little worried for the things that I'm gonna get recommended now. I'm a little worried to read this, but maybe it'll be just like the perfect amount of ridiculous for my brain that can't function right now. I gotta be honest, I don't care about any of the setup in this book. I just want to see this girl fuck a door. That's all I'm here for. I feel like we're having a sleepover right now. Like, this feels like the kind of thing that you do with a friend at a sleepover. Read this book. And now I'm questioning if I want to read this. Like, should I just go pick up Wrong Place, Wrong Time and like try to actually read that? I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep. But I don't know if I... Hi. It is some time later. It is like noon. I was gonna say the next day, but technically it's not the next day. It's just noon. I did try to read Wrong Place, Wrong Time. I don't have the book with me, but I have the dust jacket. I did try to start this last night, but I just could not focus. And then I did end up giving it a sleep probably around 2 o'clock. But that was still, like 21, 22 hours. So I think I did pretty good. This was a pretty good attempt. It's my first time doing it. But here we are. We are gathered here today to do just a little recap of everything that I read. So I started off bright and early, 4:30 in the morning, with Powerful by Lauren Roberts, which, like I told you guys, is a novella that it kind of is going to bridge like the first and the second book, and we are following Adina. That's her name, right? Yes, Adina, the side character, Peyton's friend, who is a seamstress. So we get to follow her life after Peyton leaves to go to the trials, and she meets this man and starts working on some other things. I liked it. I liked the little romance. It was, I guess, what you could call a slow burn, because it is a short book. It's like 220 pages, and I don't think they kiss until like 170 pages in, so I guess that's what you call a slow burn. I don't know. I'm not super like up to it, super informed, I guess, with all the different romance tropes and terms and things. But I liked it. I don't know if I was the biggest fan of the ending, but I guess like I don't know what the heck I was expecting the ending to be anyways. I liked it. It was a fun little novella. I think I'll probably give it maybe 3 stars or 3.5 stars. I'm not entirely sure just yet. Maybe 3 stars, because the romance, the male character kept calling her Hun and Honey, and it was just like, ugh. Made me cringe every time I read it. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that pet name, Hun. So that was book number 1. And then I moved on to One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'm giving this book 4 stars. I think it was so fun because it's a thriller that has like a reality TV aspect, even though, you know, very quickly the story moves on from that because they get stuck in this storm. But then we have like all these kind of survivalist elements to it. A lot of interesting developments and things that we learn about the characters, but I feel like that's to be expected because all of these people are on this island. They don't know each other, so their true colors are going to come out when they're in this circumstance. And I liked the way that it progressed. I love the way that things ended. There was kind of one reveal at the very end that I think isn't, like, it didn't do anything crazy like I would expect from Ruth Ware, I guess. It was kind of, I don't want to say super obvious, but it was like, it just wasn't surprising. But overall, I really loved it. It was very, very fast paced. Like, we get right into the action. Things progress very, very quickly. They're fun, entertaining, and I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Then I read A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, which is another novella in a fantasy series. So this is, like I said, people call it like the Christmas special because this takes place like with the winter solstice and Feyre and everybody getting ready for that. And I don't know, it's basically just like a setup for the next book where we're gonna learn more about Nesta and like read from her perspective. I enjoyed it. It was fun. You know, we just get to see these characters kind of be happy. Like, I've seen people call it like a Hallmark type of story, and I could definitely see that. I enjoyed it. I don't know, I'll probably give it 3 stars maybe. I'm not sure yet, but somewhere either 3 or 3.5 stars. Then I moved on my Kindle to Full Brutal by Christopher Triana, and I'm still not sure what I want to rate this. I think I might give it 4 stars. Let me say this first of all, I really loved the first half of this book. Like, it was fucked up, but like I was having so much fun reading it. Then the second half, we just get into crazy unhinged territory, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think the progression of the first half a lot more because we kind of slowly build up to all of this crazy shit that this character does. I wasn't a super big fan of the way things ended, but like I said, it definitely gets into that just ridiculous unhinged territory. So the first half is probably like 5 stars for me. The second half kind of dipped down a little bit, so I think landing on a 4 makes a lot of sense. Once again, this is extreme horror, so I'm not going to broadly recommend this to anybody, but if you are a fan of extreme horror and you're a fan of Christopher Triana, I would recommend this. I do love his writing. I will say in this book there were some like kind of small grammatical or like typos, which was interesting, but overall I love Christopher Triana and that book was crazy. And last but not least, I started with an audiobook that I was 35% of the way through, and that was You Know What You Did. So I ended up finishing that over the course of the day and doing other things. I'm not really sure what I want to give this one. I'm thinking maybe a 3-star. It just wasn't my absolute favorite. I think Annie was a very interesting character to follow, as I told you guys. But as far as like the story, I don't think it was anything like super interesting, at least when it comes to thrillers. But that's definitely like, I've read a lot of thrillers, so I feel like for me to be impressed by a thriller is kind of a little bit difficult, but there was nothing wrong with it. It is a debut. I liked it. I would definitely read from this author again, and I would recommend this book to others, but I think for my personal rating, I think I'm gonna go with a 3. So I read 3 physical books, I read 1 ebook, I finished an audiobook, so I think that was pretty successful. I also do want to know, things got a little ridiculous around 1 o'clock in the morning, as you guys saw, and I decided I was gonna read that book, Unhinged, which is like that door erotica. I didn't actually read it. I started reading it and I realized like I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to read the parts where she like does the door because I was curious. So I read that scene and was like, okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. Put that down, immediately removed it from my Kindle, and then tried to move on to this one, and that didn't work so well. But I just want to say that I was searching for something ridiculous and funny that was going to keep me awake, and it certainly was ridiculous, but I wasn't interested in actually reading it, I discovered very quickly. Anyway, with all of that being said, this has been a crazy journey. I don't know if I would do this again. Probably I would, but not for a while, because this is a lot, and I think I will definitely be better prepared if I do this again in the future. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.